Okay, I'm gonna give this one more try and see if it works. Oh, guess I gotta reload. Okay, so something I wanted to talk about. You know, Scripture tells us about not to gossip or bear false witness, and I'm sure in there somewhere it says, well, it probably doesn't, but it should, that if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. In some situations, you know, sometimes people unknowingly hurt themselves by hurting you by saying negative things about you to others. And though when you have an issue with someone, as Scripture tells us, you should go to that person. Whether it's a sin you see them committing or anything, you should go to that person and talk to that person. And when you don't, and instead you go to others, then that has a negative impact on that person. That's already probably struggling with things. And sometimes people don't even know what that person might be going through. And what may be easy for some people may not be so easy for someone else. You know, we all have strengths and weaknesses. And we all have had different life experiences. Compounded. Anyway, I really need to change the subject here. So there was a report of a shooting in Michigan last night or earlier today at a hotel, and I was trying to get the information on that. And at least it's streaming green right now. I can't, certain things I can't share, as I wouldn't want to jeopardize any military or anyone's safety. But some activities have ramped up, which, you know, maybe it's all just practice. But some of it is different. So it, you know, I don't know if they're preparing for some event. And that's all I'll say on that right now. Anyway, we know what Scripture tells us to expect in the future. So, I don't know when or how I'm going to do shows as I don't even want to discuss that right now. Anyway, it would help if some people joined and took my mind in other directions. Let's see what's going on in Midland. Let's see, live update. Um, 1 hour ago, 1 hour ago. Wow, they have had heavy flooding there. Waters were expected to continue to rise until Wednesday night. About 11,000 people in central Michigan were told to evacuate. We know that. At 5:30 a.m., the Tittabassee River had broken the record 33.9 feet set during a 500-year flood event in 1986. At 12:45 p.m. on Wednesday, the river had rose. The river level was 35.013 feet and rising. But in a positive development, the city of Midland announced the river crested on Wednesday afternoon at 35.05 feet, under the predicted forecast of 38 feet above the about 3 hours earlier than predicted. The U.S. Geological Survey said it was installing a temporary stream gauge to the river because the one there only, well, somebody messed that up. That's how it reads. The one there only has an operating limit that is 36.5 feet. Midland City Manager Brad Kay said officials are cautiously optimistic that the water will begin to recede after an early peak, though it may take days before the water is back to more normal levels. He warned that authorities will still have to monitor any possible changes to the Sanford Dam, which has not completely failed yet. Kay emphasized the situation was not over yet. The negative part of this came up quickly, but it's not going to go away quickly. So, um, so here we go again with those 500-year, 100-year, 1,000-year events continuing to go on around the world. After reports of contaminated floodwater surfaced, Dow clarified that waters commingled with an on-site pond used for stormwater and groundwater. There was no reported product release and no threat to residents. I wonder who wrote this article because there are so many grammatical errors. There was no reported product release and no threat to residents. Let me see who I'm reading this from. That wouldn't be nice, so would it? Oh, it looks like, is that CBS or NBC? Anyway, whoever wrote this article has lots of grammatical errors. I mean, they mostly look like typos, like they meant to say there instead of the. But anyway, you just wouldn't expect that from people that get paid to write these articles for a living. You would think that there was a proofreading or whatever prior to publication. But anyway, um, okay, emergency responders went door to door early Tuesday morning warning residents living near the Edenville Dam of the rising water. Some residents were able to return home, only to be told to leave again following the dam's breach several hours later. The evacuations include the towns of Edenville, Sanford, and parts of Midland, according to Selena Tisdale, spokesman for Midland County. We were back at home and starting to feel comfortable that things were calming down, said Catherine Sias, who lives about a mile from the Edenville Dam, and first left home early Tuesday morning. All of a sudden, we heard the fire truck sirens going north toward the dam. 45, Sias 45 said emergency alerts then began coming on her cell phone, and people started calling to make sure she was safe. While driving along a jammed M30, the state highway that's the main road through Edenville, which crosses the river north of town, Sias saw the rushing Titabasi River. It was very dramatic, very fast, and full of debris. Okay. In 2018, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission revoked the license of the company that operated the Edenville Dam due to non-compliance issues that included spillway capacity and the inability to pass the most severe flood reasonably possible in the area. Flood warnings in Michigan were issued following the widespread rainfall, as much as 8 inches between Sunday and Tuesday, according to the Weather Service. Heavy runoff pushed rivers higher. The evacuation in Michigan followed days of heavy rain in parts of the Midwest that also brought flooding to the northwestern Indiana, Chicago, and other parts of Illinois, Ohio, and other states. On Wednesday, threats of torrential rain will move back through Ohio. Another grammatical error. Okay. Ohio and also south through Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Regions through all the states are under flash flood watches, but western North Carolina faces the greatest threat. Okay. Now they have a correction up here. Correction, May 20th, 2020, 9:45 p.m. ET. An earlier version of this article misstated the last name of Midland City Manager. It is Brad K, not K-O, so they forgot to put the E on to the last name. It's still pronounced the same way. Okay. Wow. Chemical plant and hazard waste sites and path of Michigan flooding. Yeah, we already talked about that. Authorities released a video of a massive block party in Florida that turned. Let's see what that is. And that's probably what's going to happen here in Virginia Beach this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Um, okay. The release came after the West Volusia Beacon quoted partygoers saying authorities had unfairly targeted black attendees. Because the majority of those in the crowd were black and the deputies and police were white, we are now having hard conversations about race, racism, and inequality. Chitwood said in a statement, I don't accept the accusations that our deputies and police are racist or that their actions Saturday were racially motivated. It's not true. It's not a fair conclusion from the video. But given everything we know about our nation's history, I also know those feelings aren't just about Saturday night, he added. Well, that's true. Because there has been a lot of that has gone on in this country and other places in the world for thousands of years. So, but I haven't seen the video. I don't even know if I want to watch it because it'll just give part of what happened and not the whole. The sheriff's office estimated that 3,000 people gathered at several locations around the city of DeLon, north of Orlando. DeLon police Jason Umberger said the event was said to be a memorial, although he added that no permits were issued and that it wasn't advertised as such. The body cam video shows officers telling attendees to get out of the road and move the cars. At another point, an officer can be seen detaining a man alleged to have thrown a gun before running from authorities. At other points, attendees can be heard screaming that the people being detained didn't do anything. Chitwood said 7 people were arrested. 2 men faced charges of possession of a weapon and ammunition by a convicted felon, tampering with evidence, resisting arrest, and other counts. Other arrest details weren't immediately available. Oh man, you know what? I totally forgot. I did this as unlisted. So I'm going to shut this down and try one more time.